Hi everyone, welcome to Water Academy by Water.io, the podcast that will make you feel the glow in each and every sip. And now, well, that we're done with the cliches, Nitan, it's my turn today to put you on the spot. Have you drank enough today?
Oh no, let's see. Oh,
You haven't. You
no,
haven't.
it's
Show them
orange.
you haven't. That's a shame. Shame on you,
Sorry.
Nitan. Shame on you.
It's tough. It's tough to drink enough every day.
It is.
I can see that Carrie's taking a sip while we're talking.
Yeah, it's making it
Our
thirsty.
suggestion.
Yeah.
What's your color if you tilt the bottle? Is it green or orange? Did you drink enough water today?
I'm gonna be completely honest. I have to buy a new charger.
What about you, Gil? Let's see.
Whilst roasting you, I actually forgot to charge my own lead. So yeah, let's forget about it.
Wow.
Yeah.
So we have a charger issue here on the table.
Definitely.
Okay, so exciting day today. We have a guest here from the United States joining us here on video. As usual, Gil and Nitzan, myself, are here to host you on this podcast. And today we're hosting Carrie.
Great. So, Carrie, could you tell us a bit about yourself, your background as an educator, yoga teacher, and embodiment coach?
Sure thing. And I can do it pretty succinctly, I think. I was a theater kid in high school, and I came from a family that had no college graduates prior to me. So I was the first generation to go to college.
Wow.
The problem was I wanted to go to college for theater, which is an embodiment practice, though I didn't know it at the time. And the suggestion from my family was to go into business. And I couldn't see myself doing that in any way, shape, or form. Of course, the irony is, fast forward 27, 28 years, and I'm in business for myself. But anyway, I digress. So I studied theater. I was a writer from the go, like from 5th grade. I was like asking for typewriters for Christmas and birthdays. And that's also an embodiment practice, a way of tapping into how you show up in the world. And after college,
let me just stop you right there.
Yeah.
Could you just give us a definition to the people like me with less IQ? What is embodiment? What does embodiment mean?
I actually had to look it up. I Googled it because I had no idea what it means.
I love that. That's a great clarifying question. It is kind of a buzzword right now. You're seeing it probably all over. It's almost overused. It's sort of annoying. But my teacher is Mark Walsh. He's out of the UK. He does all manner of embodiment training and work. And the modality I specialized in was embodied yoga principles. And embodiment is the way that we show up in the world. So, for instance, as a public school educator, when I have a classroom of 30 students and half of them are slumped over and they have their heads down like this.
Yeah.
Like that's their embodiment, and it affects how they learn. It affects how other people in the room show up. It affects how the teacher interacts.
Yeah.
Right? Because like anytime you're having a conversation with someone and they're preoccupied and they're not present in that moment, like we feel that.
It affects you.
Yeah.
Right? And so what Mark also says, this is his soundbite, is your body is not a brain taxi. Like we spend so much time in our heads overthinking things, we lose the connection to our bodies. And our bodies have infinite wisdom for us.
I've never think of it that way.
That is interesting.
It is.
I remember one lecture of a professor. I remember he was a well-known professor. I don't remember which one, and he talked about this research they did about happiness, and the whole research was they would call people and ask them, "What are you thinking about?" And where are you? Where are you now? I think those were the two questions, and the whole conclusion was that people that were just think in the moment, say if they were washing the dishes. Oh, I'm sorry. The question was, what are you doing, and where is your mind? So if someone was washing the dishes and when he was asked, where is your mind? He would say, I'm washing the dishes. Those people were the happiest people because they were present in the moment. They're not
Really?
preoccupied with all these overthinking and stuff. And by the way, Carrie, I also studied theater. It's important to mention while I'm speaking.
Wow.
And it was probably the best thing I learned in high school, which gave me the most tools about how to talk and present in front of people. So I'm there with you. So
I love that because I believe the same. I learned so much about how to be a human, honestly, through theater. And just kind of a random funny story. There was someone in the graduate program when I was an undergraduate getting a Bachelor of Fine Arts in stage management, which is an extremely organized field, and ended up working for like Boston Public Library, Senator Kennedy, and doing all of this like leadership stuff, this library science, like Library of Congress, like big deal stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I reached out to her. She had reached out to me because of what I had written or something. And we had a conversation, and I was like, I just love that you have a master's degree in theater and you're doing the work that you're doing. And she's like, my degree in theater is the best training I ever had. So she said the exact same thing.
True.
For sure.
Well, now that we know what does embodiment mean, could you share with us how does it incorporate with your coaching and yoga practice?
Sure. So embodied yoga principles are 26 different yoga poses. They're based on hatha yoga poses, but there's like slight adjustments in your body positioning. So I'll go through a regular yoga class, and then when I get to positions that are similar to the EYP positions, I'll say, hey, I have an invitation for you. Consider this, move your hands in this way. And then I'll hold them in that pose and ask them pointed questions. So for instance, one of the things that American women struggle with is are our boundaries, right? We're supposed to please, people pleasers, right? Nice girls. And so sometimes we have trouble saying no.
Yeah.
But when we learn to say no to things that are not right for us, we allow the things that are to come in. So it's really important that we learn to say no. And so for the no posture, you get yourself into a classic warrior stance where you've got your front knee bent over your ankle and your back leg is spread out. And traditional warrior, looks like this up top or like this. But in no posture, we're going to place our hands on our chest or our heart. Because even if we're saying no, it doesn't mean we're not filled with love. In fact, it probably means we are love for ourselves. Yeah. And we would then take those arms out like that. We're going to hold our fists down like this. I think I can kind of show you. So we're going to put our hand up sort of like a stop sign. And it's not going to be super rigid, like, no, absolutely not. But yet if we put our hand out like this, what does that kind of show?
Like a stop sign?
A stop sign, yeah.
Right? But if I were holding water or an object, it would slip through. Yeah. So if I'm holding my hand out like this in no, I'm not entirely sure of my no, right? There's room, there's wiggle room.
Yeah.
So you really, you hold that hand firm,
To stand up for yourself and say
but not
no.
loose,
Yeah.
not super tight, right? And then that hand down at your waist is like you holding into that no. And you stay in that position for a little while. And it's once you stay in that position that you begin to hear your body speak to you.
Wow.
And so when I ask you, does this feel familiar? You're then digging into your own psyche, your own body, and realizing how your nervous system feels, how your muscles feel. Like, if it's challenging for you to hold that pose, is it challenging for you to hold your boundary?
Yeah. I think that's the kind of the things we're all struggling with, on our daily life.
Yeah. And generally, awareness to your body. I think that's kind of can lead us to Water.io because
Speaking of which, you should listen to your bottle and not to your body because it reminds you to drink.
It's lighting up. It's telling me to drink.
Yeah.
Because I'm not aware enough of my water consumption.
Yeah.
Carrie, so how did you get to become a Water.io user? And by the way, Gil, and Carrie, I looked into our database because I can do that because I'm the product manager.
What a superpower. Yeah.
And Carrie is a very impressive user. She uses the bottle every single day.
Wow. Well, even more than us, I'd say.
So how did you end up being a Water.io user?
Well, been working on social media, trying to, get word out about my business now that things don't have to be local, right? It's like, hey, I can do this coaching. We can do yoga online. And so I've been working on my social media and even like TikTok. I got into a situation where I have access to TikTok Live, even though I don't have the 10,000 followers. It's like this agreement with a third party. And in doing that, I've amassed a decent amount of followers. It's not where I want to be. But I had a small, like, micro influencer company contact me, and I was looking at the products that were available to me to try, and I saw the bottle, and I make a practice. I'm very mindful about my spending. I'm also mindful about products that I would promote. Like, they have to be aligned with what I do and my vision. So I'm looking at all the products and I saw the bottle and it's beautiful. I mean, it's gorgeous and it's black.
Thank you very much.
Actually, it's offered in white, but I had to get the black. And I just was like, you know what? This is a little bit higher dollar than I would probably spend on my water consumption, but yet I had tried multiple things over the past 25 years to, develop a really good relationship with water. So I was like, you know what? This is the perfect opportunity to try it. So I did. And it came in the mail and I was incredibly excited about it. The packaging's gorgeous. And I had this really exciting moment.
The unboxing experience. Yeah.
Why do you think, I remember you told me that you tried all these different bracelets and bottles. Why do you think it's so hard? Even obviously you're minded to it and you want to succeed in it, and still you struggle, and you're not the only one. Why is it
stay on track with your daily water intake?
Yeah. So why is it so hard?
So for me, water's kind of boring, right? I think we have like these sugar addictions.
Yeah, definitely.
And like I'm drinking coffee because it's early in the morning here in the States. But I like the flavor of coffee. It's not boring.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, we always get people asking us, could I put like something sweet in it, like a soda or something? And we say, I mean, you could, but why would you? Where it's all about water. It's all about health and wellness.
Yeah.
So yeah, I totally get you.
Sugar has a built-in like light system, right? Like our bodies light up when we get sugar, and then when we withdraw from it, we don't feel good. So no, I would never consider putting anything in that bottle besides water. I think I said when I was talking to you, I do like, there's a certain soft drink I really like, and I have to sort of stay away from it. And I told you if that Dr. Pepper bottle had a light up lid, I would probably drink more of it. So bad idea.
Well, so how has water impacted your daily hydration habits and overall well-being?
Well,
Sorry.
To answer that question, I can go back and thoroughly answer the last one. And, like when I first started teaching, I got one of those really big plastic insulated tumblers. I mean, it was huge. I think it was 64 ounces. And, in schools, you don't have access to like super clean water and things like that. So I would pack that every morning. And I mean, it was so heavy with all my other teaching books, et cetera. But it did a good job because it was all around the tumbler were facts about water and how much water we were supposed to drink. And it worked, but it wasn't practical because it was so cumbersome, and I would spill it and make all these messes. And then someone that my husband at the time worked with made this beautiful jewelry with these beads that you could move back and forth. And so you could track anything, workouts, golf swings, water consumption, exercise goals. And I thought, this is so beautiful. It's this jewelry I can wear, it'll be there, etc. You have to use it. And we're all thinking about so many other things that we just don't do it. And human beings also have a resistance to things that are good for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Going back to all right. So going back to yoga, it's interesting to me, personally, specifically to me, because it's something that I heard a lot of, but I know almost nothing about. Maybe you could tell us a bit more about what yoga is, and maybe we could put it in a practical framework of someone, let's say like me, who wants to try it out or give it a shot. What kind of tips would you have to someone who wants to try or experiment yoga and check out this?
And is it for everyone? Like, do you recommend everyone doing yoga?
I absolutely recommend everybody do yoga. So every person's body is different. We know that, like, in our minds. But what happens for a lot of people is we're not feeling comfortable in our bodies. We're not confident about our bodies. And so when we go to yoga and we're not able to get ourselves into the pose the way that, the professional leading the class is, sometimes we engage in that negative self-talk and we begin to spiral and beat ourselves up about where we are in our practice.
Yeah.
And most yoga teachers I've experienced are very good about reminding us that, our bodies are going to be different on different days. And that's going to depend on what's going on for us emotionally, what's going on for us at work. It's going to be affected by our diet. It's going to be affected by our water consumption. Mm-hmm. And so being at yoga and checking into those poses is developing that relationship between our body and our mind, because yoga means to yoke or to tie together.
Mm.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So how would you recommend, let's say for me if I want to try it out, can I just Google it and check a few poses and try them out?
I became a yoga instructor because I didn't want to do that. Mm-hmm. It wasn't that I didn't like the online yoga space because, prior to Zoom, there was some, but I didn't want to do it wrong. I didn't want to take a chance of damaging my body because I didn't have any business just trying to copy somebody online because I didn't know the principles of the muscles and things like that. So I think it's a decent place to start, but I wouldn't stay there for long. I would actually bring it back to the water bottle, right? Because often if we say, oh yeah, I'll do that, it gets crowded out by other things. Yeah. But if we make ourselves an appointment to go into the studio and we pay for that class, like we get what we pay for. And a lot of times, things that we get for free or maybe a $15 bottle at the department store, like it's not enough. Yeah. It's not enough to motivate us.
True.
So I would say ask a friend who enjoys yoga and ask them who they would recommend you go to because the instructor is important.
I totally agree. Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, I think we're almost out of time. So,
oh man.
Yeah. But before wrapping it up, this is the part I love the most. So I'd love you to tell us a story that has something to do with water. It could be a funny story, an interesting story, everything you have on mind that has something to do with water or hydration. So go ahead, tell us something. It could be that time you got dehydrated or everything.
Or you drank too much and you had to go to the bathroom. I don't know. Just giving ideas here.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. So it's funny. I had no idea what story I was going to tell. I have a really small bladder.
Really?
I do. So, my relationship with water is sort of complicated.
Yeah.
As a public school teacher, I don't get to necessarily go to the restroom when I want to.
Oh.
Because we're on like a bell schedule. And so for an hour,
tough.
I'm trapped in that room with 30 kids and I can't go to the restroom.
Oh, that's
so
tough.
Honestly, like I do have to be really careful, and it is important to measure that water throughout the day. I can't get up and just like chug this whole bottle. Like I do have to sip throughout the day so I can sort of pace myself. And so to tell you a story about water, there's been a lot of times where I'm like running for the restroom because I'm trying so hard to get my hydration in. And so I would say that this bottle is very helpful for that because I don't feel that urgency to hurry up. Like while I'm drinking, I better drink it all. I'm able to pace myself throughout the day better. Of course, now I'm not in the classroom and I can go to the bathroom anytime I want. But I will tell you, I did once go to a urologist, and we're not supposed to overload our bodies with water all at the same time. We're overworking our body. So
yes,
it is
that's
important
true.
to pace yourself.
Yeah, it is. It is important to spread out your hydration throughout the day and not drink it all at once. Yeah. For sure. I totally agree on that. And if I were you, I would just tell the students, all right, be strong. I need to go to the bathroom right now and I'll be back in 5 minutes.
Honestly, like in America, like if something happened in that room while I was gone, like they could sue me.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense actually.
It's serious.
Yeah,
it is.
Well, on that note, I wish that you'll never be sued. And thank you so much for being with us, Carrie, on the Water Academy. We are Water.io. If you want to check out more about us, you can visit our website, water.io. We are the smart water bottle that helps you hydrate better and live a healthier lifestyle. And we will see you in our next episode.